Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something cool. We're going to take those diamond plates that we bought in a couple videos ago for sharpening, and we're going to make an actual sharpening system. Stay tuned. Okay, so if you recall a couple videos ago, we bought these 4 diamond sharpening plates on Amazon for like 17 bucks. With tax, I think it comes out to a little bit more than that. But we used these to sharpen our survival knife. It worked really well. We used it in conjunction with one of these sharpening blocks. This works really well for like large knives and things, but I bought these mainly to sharpen chisels and plane blades and things like that, scraper blades, stuff like that. So switching between these plates, you know, working on one, unscrewing it, putting a new one on, screwing a new one on, it's kind of monotonous and it slows the sharpening process down. I want it to be fast. I want to be able to sharpen things quickly and get to it. So what we're going to do is mount these 4 plates onto a piece of stock. I've got a piece of MDF. I don't know if that's the best choice, but it's what I have available. I'm going to wrap it in. I've got these 2 remaining strips of all of our cedar fence post slats. I tried to call it a post again. Those like fence pieces. These are the last 2 pieces I have. The rest of them I cut for our Coleman lantern box that we're eventually getting to. But these are the last 2 pieces I have left that aren't being used. So I'm going to cut the MDF. I'm going to wrap it in this cedar kind of stuff maybe. I'm going to try to put a mount on it to mount in the vise, get these 4 plates on, and then cut a piece to put a strap and mount a strap onto it too, because I don't want to have to pull a strap out every time. So that's the project for today. Shouldn't take too long. Let's get to it. Okay, so this is our piece of MDF that we have. I've got a couple stacks of these. These are like cutoffs from a project that I started working on, remodeling my downstairs bathroom like 2 years ago, and that just never got around to finishing it. That maybe will be a future video. But essentially, these are cutoffs from a bunch of larger pieces that I was using to make some wainscoting on the walls. So these cutoffs are just about 2 feet long and 10.5-ish inches tall, and they're 1/2 inch thick. So I don't need this entire piece. I'm probably going to cut it somewhere. So to do that, I'm going to lay out these plates just to kind of get a rough idea of how I want them laid out. I want to give a little bit of spacing around that. I don't know how big that is there, but that looks good to the eye. So, oh, perfect, 1/2 inch. So we'll mark all these out with like a grid so that we're lined up nicely, but we'll kind of guesstimate here about 1/2 inch or so. So look at that, 1/2 inch. Oh, that one's a little off. Okay, well, not that great. Okay, so bump that up 1/2 inch, that up 1/2 inch. But essentially, that's roughly how long we need. So we're going to go, that's 1 foot long to that back plate. So we'll go 1.5 foot plus 1/2 inch, and that's where we'll cut this down. So we're going to measure over 1 foot plus 1/2 inch, so 12.5 inches. These edges should be fairly square. Cut them on a table saw. Yep, they're dead square, so I can measure off of this edge. And I think we'll be able to build all the pieces we need just off this one piece here. Oh, that was terrible lining up. There we go, that's better. So what I think I'm gonna do is, if we roughly get all 4 of our plates on here, that'll be the width of this. I don't want this to be too wide. I want this to be able to be somewhat storable, that I can like put underneath the bench and keep it out of the way or hang it on a wall or something. So I want this bottom to have the 4 plates so I can sharpen, go through my plane blades or my chisels, sharpen them quickly. And then I think up at the top here, I'm gonna mount another block of MDF that I'm gonna wrap in leather for our strop. So that's why I'm keeping this kind of extra stock up here, and I'm not just gonna rip it down. If you don't want to mount your strop to this, you have a dedicated strop or something somewhere else, then just, you know, rip this down to a 1/2 inch above these plates and keep it even smaller. So let's get this cut. Nice. Okay. So not bad, but I'm just gonna, for OCD sake, I'm gonna put it in the plane and just kind of square this edge up a little bit. How you guys liking these new camera angles? Like, I bought this, you can see kind of the arm here, but it's like, it's made for like top-down filming. So like, a lot of the videos I've been doing recently have been using this top-down style, so it gives you guys a better view than just over my shoulder like I've done in the past. It should give you a better view. Hopefully it gives you a better view, but for me, it's so annoying to work around this thing. It makes it a lot more difficult, but I want you guys to have the best view possible. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, now that we have our piece cut for the top, I want to wrap these in the cedar planks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plane down one of these pieces, flatten up one edge, then I'm going to rip it down to a 1/2 inch for 3 of them. So this one, and that one, I'm going to wrap to 1/2 inch thick, so it's the same thickness as the board below it, so it lays flat. And then this front one, I'm going to go 1 inch so that it gives us a 1/2 inch reveal on the side, or yeah, a 1/2 inch lower than the board, so that we can clamp it to our vise and it'll hold this in place and flat on the bench. So let's get this in the vise. We'll plane these 3 and cut these 3. I'll come back when I've got that done. You ever have one of those days where you just can't cut a straight line to save your life? Today's that day. Anyway, I avoided showing you all of the mess of trying to cut these things, but we got them cut, and this is pretty much all we have left out of it. I tried to get rid of, like, not have all these knots in it, but there's some. I cut these side pieces. They're not the flattest, but once I glue them and clamp them, I can plane the outside to flatten them out. I was gonna go fancy miter joints, but then I decided, because my cutting is just atrocious today, I'm not even gonna bother trying. I'm just gonna butt joint them. So I'm gonna cut these sides short, have these 2 long pieces go long. All the rest of these are the thickness of this this board here. So they're all the same height, except for this one. These are all 1/2 inch tall. This is all 1 inch tall, so that when we glue it down, we've got this little 1/2 inch to be able to clamp into the vise to hold this secure, or push it up against a bench top or something as we're pushing, so it doesn't move around on us a lot. If you don't want to go this route with the clamping, if you don't have a vise in your thing, but you still want to sharpen, what I would suggest is, you don't have to do all this trim pieces. That's just me being extra. But if you do go down this route, trim them all to a 1/2 inch thick, all 4 sides, and then maybe put underneath, get some of that like rubber grippy, like that stuff you put in like cabinets, like the shelf liner stuff. and maybe stick some of that on the bottom of this, and that will make sure that it doesn't slide around when it's on your bench if that's a concern for you. Or I wonder if you could even maybe glue some like really coarse, like some 60 grit sandpaper to the bottom and put that on your bench, but that could scratch up things. I don't know if you want to do that, but I would maybe go the rubber route, or maybe even some little rubber feet, anything that's just going to give it some grip. But in our case, we're going to use this little lip here. So I am going to measure these, just cut them down so that we can joint them together. And then I'm going to get them glued on, clamped up, and we'll come back when that is done. So while that's drying over there, we can start working on our strop. So our strop, we want, I took some measurements basically from the bottom of that plate with the plates and then the distance above. I have the 1/2 inch gap from below and there, and then a 1/2 inch gap at the top. So that leaves us with a space of 3 inches to be able to make our strop wide, and then we'll go 6 inches long. I think that is a good proportionate strop. So let's get started on making that with our cutoff piece. And then we want 6 inches long. Perfect. Put a line across. There's our strop base. So now we want to get some leather. I don't know that this is the best leather for it, but I've got some of this kind of rawhide left from a project I did with the Scouts. So I'm just going to cut a 3-inch strip of this, and I'll bring it down and try to glue it to the sides, but I want this to glue flat, so I'm not going to wrap it all the way around. I'm just going to do just enough. So we're going to go 6 1/2. No, this is a 1/2 inch thick, so I want to go 7 inches long, 3 inches wide. So let's get that cut. So to glue this down, I've got clear foam adhesive, professional strength. I don't know if this will work or not to hold it down, but we're gonna try. It's made for foam. Clearly this is not foam, but we'll make the best of it. this, crank it down in the vise. Kind of pull this side over. Do the same on this side, crank that down. Pull this side over. Keep it as tight as we can. In there. Clamp this down. Put some good pressure on that leather. Let that glue really soak in. So, prepping these plates. I plan to mount these plates to the board using carpet tape. If you've never used carpet seam tape before, it's basically double-sided tape, but if you can see up close, I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not, but it's like a really strong mesh, really sticky. And the more you put pressure on it, the stronger it gets. So I was planning, I thought about mounting, well, I'm going to mount it to the board with this tape, but I thought about removing this foam backing on the back of our plates. But I did a test piece over on this and I stuck one on and I tried to pull it off and it's not coming off. So I think I'm going to leave these foam pieces on just to get that little bit of extra height off the board, just in case. I need that just a little bit extra. And I don't want to, I thought about like, how am I going to get this off? You know, I tried just peeling it off. It doesn't come off very easily. So I'd have to get like a heat gun out and get all that adhesive off to keep it flat. And I was worried about doing that by putting a heat gun, because I don't know if that will hurt the integrity of the diamonds being mounted on there. So to be safe, I'm just gluing this on here with this tape. Or I'm just leaving the foam on, I guess I should say. So I'm pressing this down. I'm leaving the backing on for now till we're ready to mount it, but I'm prepping while everything else is drying in the background. So even that little bit there is just barely touches it. It sticks, man. So cut that. That's 2 plates done. So we'll have them, and then when we're ready to stick, we'll just peel the backing off, stick them on. Oh man, so I did all this work and stuff that I probably just put music over as I was talking. You probably see my hands moving and I'm gabbing away, and then just realized after 3 scenes that I just filmed, I guess we'll call them scenes, my microphone wasn't plugged in. So yay. So to give you a recap, what I want to do is shellac everything. I'm going to put a coat of shellac on it to protect the MDF a little bit because it doesn't really play well with water that much. So I'm going to put a coat of shellac on it just because there will be water used on these plates, not a ton, but a little bit of water. It's going to come in contact with moisture. So to protect it a little bit, the best I can, I'm going to spray everything with shellac. So I've got all the plates kind of marked out where they need to go, but I'm going to take them off now, shellac everything. And we've got our strap in place as well. Now, before I shellac it though, I was going to wait till the end, but now my shellac idea kind of pushed it up to the beginning. I have something as a kind of a little surprise to go up in this corner here. So I'm going to do that now, and then we'll shellac everything. Then we'll stick our plates on and our strap. Nice. Okay, so after literally 20 coats of shellac, this MDF really sucks up the shellac. I've never used shellac on MDF before, but it has just really sucked it up. It's amazing how many coats I needed. But essentially I got 20 coats on here, and then kind of just came through with some steel wool, some like quadruple lot steel wool, and just kind of ran over the whole surface and just kind of smoothed it all out, leveled everything out. You could put another coat on here now, but I'm not gonna. I kind of like that matte look. It's got a little bit of a shine to it, but not a ton. But this should be good for keeping any moisture off of this board, at least for a little while. Do I want to put another coat on? I kind of do, but dude, this project's turning into something it wasn't meant to. So, yeah, put another coat on. All right, I don't like the matte. I'm putting another coat on. Be right back. Okay, finally, we are totally shellacked. So now 21 coats of shellac on. Everything is nice and waterproofed. We've got a bit of a sheen to it, but that's okay. Hopefully it doesn't come through too bad on camera. The last thing to do to get this thing wrapped up, we're gonna peel the tape off and stick our plates on. So let's do that. So there's that tape on the back. Gently put it on. Half inch, half inch, half inch, half inch. Okay. All right. Nice. Got all of our plates on. They're not perfect, but whatever. They're close enough for our needs. And then this strap goes on last. Right here. There it is. Our sharpening system is done. We can stand it upright. Nothing's falling off. All these plates are solidly affixed, or solidly affixed. All the plates are affixed well. They're not going anywhere. They're very flat, so that takes that problem we had earlier about these flexing because they're so thin. Now they're on solidly mounted board. We can take it, bring this back here. So I had it just propped up on this piece of wood for now to keep it level, but we can take it, put it up against in our vise, and now it ain't going nowhere. We can do all the work we need to, sharpen all of our blades, strop them, and look at our nice logo in the process. So cool, we're ready to go. The next video we are going to go through, we are going to use this sharpening system to review these. These are the $9 Windsor Design wood chisel, 6-piece wood chisel set from Harbor Freight. We're going to see how good these are. We are going to sharpen them, flatten them, and see if this is a good alternative to a very expensive group of chisels. So look forward to that soon. All right, that's it for today. We made this super cool. I could not be happier with this, man. Like, I've seen so many YouTube woodworkers that have their own kind of setup and stuff for plane sharpening, and I've always wanted to build it, but never had the plates that I felt like I could do it with. I've got whetstones. I've always used those. It's kind of a mess. I like this system a lot more, and the diamonds should last a lot longer. I love the strap built into it. This is just going to be awesome for sharpening all kinds of stuff. I could probably even do knife blades with this, to be honest, if I just work down lower along the edge. But I'll probably still use my whetstones for knife blades. I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of partial to them when it comes to knife sharpening. But for plane sharpening, plane blades, chisels, basically anything else, you know, router blades, anything. Oops, sorry. This setup's going to be great. So super happy about it. It turned out really, really well. Could not be happier. So anyway, that's it for today. If you like this type of content, you want to see more stuff coming out like about woodworking or cool little projects to do in your house with just kind of scrap wood laying around, subscribe down below. Give me a thumbs up. Comment on this. What kind of sharpening systems do you use for your planes? Do you use whetstones? Do you use diamond plates? Do you have a setup similar to this? This by no means is a unique design. I've seen kind of this 4 plates before. I don't know that I've ever seen one with a strap built into it, so I'm going to claim credit for that, even though it's probably been done before. So anyway, I will see you on the next one.